Hey guys, welcome to Stand To with Nesto. Today's guest is Bryan Buendia. We know each other from a group online that we're both a member of, which we'll get to a little bit later. Bryan, I have a little bit of information here about your time in service. It says you were with Bravo Company, second of the 69th Armored. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay, I just
that's
want to
right.
make sure I had that down. So you were with 3rd Brigade of 3rd ID. Kind of funny. I was with 4th Brigade 3rd ID there for a little while myself. Um, so your time of service was 2008 to 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what was it that actually motivated you to serve?
Uh, let's see. It was back in 2007. I was 17 years old. I had dropped out in 10th grade. I was working as a electrician apprentice, commercial work in downtown San Antonio, and it was good work. I was making good money, but it was just continuously repetitive work. It was just one floor after the other, doing the same thing every single day, and I was just getting bored out of my mind. My dad served, my grandpa served, everybody served, so
Oh,
it
nice.
was always something that was in the back of my mind that I may do. So I went to the Army recruiter and I told them that I wanted to be a sniper, and they were like, "All right, well you gotta go to infantry school and then you gotta go to sniper school when you get to your unit." And then so they helped me. They actually paid for my GED, and then I was in a couple months later.
Wow. So just it was a family thing. There was nothing else that motivated you at all.
No, I mean the Iraq War definitely contributed to it. You know, my dad had served in the Iraq War back in 2003, 2004. So it was, something that was always there. It's something that I always thought about doing. I just never really put too much effort into it until I'd actually turned, of legal age and was bored and
Right.
was like, you know what, might as well go do it.
Oh, I can understand. I'm a second generation veteran myself. My dad served in the Air Force back in the 50s, like right after I turned into the Air Corps. So his favorite thing to say to me was he never considered himself an airman. He always considered himself a soldier. So there you go. um, so obviously it looks like you did one term of service.
Yeah.
Was there a particular reason why you decided not to re-enlist?
I actually ended up getting into some trouble. I got an Article 15 because I missed, I think, 2 days of work. So it was after we got back from Iraq, and I was just in a really messed up place. My wife left and all that stuff, and I lost pretty much everything, and my chain of command wasn't being very helpful about it. So it ended up turning into I got an Article 15. I was supposed to do my 45, 45, and then get my rank back in 6 months. Well, Obama administration decided they wanted to downsize the army, so anybody who had Article 15 couldn't pass weight and tape. Anybody who had a DUI all got cut. So I just happened to fall into that bracket. No needed, not needed anymore.
Right, right. No, this will tell you how old I am. I served under Clinton the first time, and when they were doing the downsizing back then, I took my time to get out. I got back in later, but no, I can completely feel you being feeling a little bit abandoned by the administration completely. Um, so other than that, I mean, obviously you got your good times and your bad times in the service. We all have, the things that we look back, we're like, God damn, thank God I'm not in the place anymore. And you got those times you're like, dude, I wish I was back. Um, what would be your favorite memory that you could think of, be it overseas or even all the way back to basic? What was it that you would say was your favorite memory of your time in uniform?
There's one memory I always think back on. That always makes me just laugh my ass off. We had a military intelligence guy on patrol with us, and we just got done clearing a house, and we were posted up on top of the building, and pulling security, and then we started hearing some pop shots, and that MI guy ducked down behind me so quickly, like he curled up, and it was just like not moving or anything, and I just looked back at him, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like that moment right there just always makes me laugh my ass off.
Right. Well, I think what's kind of funny because I remember getting it, when I got to Iraq in 2005, I remember I was that guy. The first couple of mortars that went off or rounds that went overhead, dude, I was looking for the bunker, man. So
Yeah,
I know it's really funny, being like 6, 9 months into your tour, and you're like, come on, guys,
yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. So I see here you were at Patrol Base Hamia, is that right?
Yeah, patrol base Maya.
Oh, Hamaya. Okay, I'm terrible, dude. I even
Yeah, it's a
mispronounced
weird name,
right.
but it wasn't a bad
Oh,
base. It was attached to a Iraqi army division.
oh,
So
nice.
yeah, we only got mortared like once or two times out there. When we went to the bigger bases, usually when we got the mortars and stuff like that. But out there was pretty nice because we had them right there with us, and if anything usually popped off, they were pretty good about getting out the gate.
Right. No, no, that's good, man. I mean, like, yeah, I was at Fall Falcon, which we had was a separated base between U.S. and Iraqi, and man, I can't even tell you if they ever rolled out with us once.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. Well, I mean, it was one of those things where I know that when we were there, it was right at the time when we stopped doing like joint operations with them for a while because our guys were getting shot in the back going in the building. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, there was one group in Baghdad that we trusted with our lives, and that was the Wolf Brigade, and that was an IP unit. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or whatnot, but those were the guys that like no other police unit wanted. They were like the misfits, so they were a good group of guys. I mean, they were and they could scrap. They definitely had our back over there. Okay, so 2012 happens. You're transferring out of the military. Did you go straight back to Texas, or did you go anywhere else?
No, I ended up in Florida with my ex baby mama.
Uh oh.
Yeah. So the decision, like we had talked about it, her family's from Florida, mine's from Texas. We ended up going with her family. You know, they were better off being able to help us get on our feet and things like that.
Sure.
The first year was really a struggle for me. I had started smoking that spice K2 stuff, the synthetic marijuana, and it really just got a hold of me. You know, it fucked my life over. I was passing out in the front lawn just fucking after I smoked and just sitting there for hours. You know, and it got really bad
Yeah.
for a long time. It was pretty hard, but I was able to find a good job. I was working under the table, making like $1,000 a week doing security systems.
Nice.
Yeah, and so and that guy, you know, he helped me out. You know, I moved out of my ex's house and in with him and stuff like that. He made me the VP of his company. You know, we were really just kicking ass. Um, and unfortunately, he ended up overdosing. Because he took like two or three times a day. He would take like morphine and stuff like that because he had 15 herniated discs in his back.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so I mean, he'd been doing that for like 12 years too, so it was just you know a matter of time. But it really sucked, you know, finding him like that. So we ended up,
Did you found him?
yeah, me and my buddy, that one of my buddies I served with, I had brought him down to work with me, and yeah, we found him in his bed.
Oh man, that's rough, man. I know how that is. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So you know that was kind of hard. His daughter came down, and we were able to sell off the company and stuff like that because that's what she wanted to do. Um, and really after that, it was jumping job to job for a long time. You know, for a couple years, I ended up landing a job with IO Inc., which is the AK manufacturer down in Florida. Don't buy
Nice.
one of their rifles, but it was good experience in black or gunsmithing and stuff like that.
Oh wow. So do you continue with the gunsmithing now at all as a hobby, or do you?
Not so much, just because it's an expensive hobby. Like I don't have the rigs to do it all and the jigs and all that good stuff. The
Sure.
drilling, all you need that good stuff. Like I would love to get back into it one day, but that's just not something I can afford right now.
No, I can understand completely. Wow. I mean, just trying to get myself a small little wire-fed welder. You're just like, holy crap! When you look at some of the prices, and you don't want to buy used because you never know why they're getting rid of it either. You never blows up in your face or something. Um, so one of the things that I know that you and I have talked about a little bit before. I mean, obviously we know each other from the group Brotherhood of the Blue Cord online, which love me, ha ha ha. But I noticed that going on your page and whatnot, you have a lot of pictures of yourself with children in hospitals and whatnot.
Mhm.
What is it about that how did you get involved in that would be the better question.
So originally it started out as it's just pure vanity. I bought a Flash costume, and I was like, man, I really want to wear it. I want to go out and do something with it. I have this cosplay costume. So in my town, they were doing a anti-bullying event, and the Batman of San Antonio was going to be there. And so I messaged him, and I was like, hey, I know you're going to be there. You're probably getting paid to be there. Like, I don't want to step on your toes. So I messaged him, let him know, like, is it all right if I come through, like, in my Flash costume? And he was like, yeah, definitely. He's like, I appreciate you asking me. Usually people don't do that at all. So I went out there and I talked to him. I did the anti-bullying event with him and stuff like that. And then he invited me to a few other events going along forward, and gave me their calendar and all that stuff. And was just like, when you can show up, show up. And so it was pretty much just like, and I really fell into love with it because of the reaction of the kids. Like I've never seen so much joy and excitement just to see, a guy in a costume. So it was a really lot of fun. It became really rewarding.
Well, that's cool. I mean, have you ever showed up as any other characters, or has it just been strictly the Flash?
Just the Flash. I'm working on like a Kite Man costume. I bought Joker last year, but I haven't really had the opportunity to be able to get out there. San Antonio is about an hour drive from me, so I can't do it as often as I would like to.
Right, and obviously right now, COVID and whatnot, nothing's...
Nothing. Nobody's doing nothing.
So what was it about the Flash that drew you? I mean, most people, obviously, you talked about Batman, you got the guys that dress up like Superman, and of course everybody now is dressing up like Deadpool, I'm assuming. So what was it about the Flash that drew you?
Well, Flash was always one of my favorite characters growing up. I liked all of them, but the Flash stood out mainly because he was an underdog. Like, he wasn't talked about a lot. Everybody was Batman, Superman, and the Flash, his speed has always been appealing to me because I've always wanted to move at that kind of speed. You know what I mean? So it was just always like, if I had superpowers, it would definitely be the Flash's abilities. And then, I have my own opinions on how I feel he's overrated in the DC universe and all that good stuff.
Well, come on, let's get into some of them. I gotta get controversial somehow.
Well, he's one of the few characters that can literally change the entire timeline. Like, he can go back in time and end Superman coming to Earth at all. He can stop Batman's parents from dying. He can create whatever Flashpoint paradoxes he wants. And if he really didn't care about the timeline, he could just say, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want.
True. No, that's true. I get that. All right. Well, cool. So tell me a little bit about your other projects. I know you've got other stuff going on. I know that we've traded memes back and forth and stuff about Star Wars and Star Trek and comic books and the rest of it. You do have a YouTube page, is that right?
Yeah. It's called Comic Breakdown. And it's pretty much I've been doing comic reviews mainly on the DC universe, but I've been branching off into like the Star Wars because Marvel's now publishing Star Wars comics. So, and I actually enjoy them. They're not too bad. It gives you more in-depth stories about Kylo Ren and his rise to who he is, filling in the gaps and stuff like that. There's another Darth Vader one that's coming out, and it's pretty much him trying to figure out where Padme went, like how she became a traitor to the Empire and so on and so forth. Right. So, there's a lot of awesome comics coming out, and I really want to get them covered for people that are interested in checking them out and seeing what they're about.
Now, as a longtime Star Wars fan myself, having seen almost every one of them from the original one on in the theater, I know that there is a burning question for most of us, and you having the background and all the comic books and whatnot may have the answer. Why is Kylo Ren such a whiny bitch?
I think that has everything to do with his writing. Because in the what are they, the prequels, is what they're called, or the sequels? Yeah. I don't know. The most recent 3.
Okay. The after ones, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So I really think it comes down to the writing, because even the Knights of Ren were really poorly written in that. Like, if you read the comics, most of them are, like, anybody who is a Knight of Ren has to be force sensitive. So, in the Knights of Ren that we got in the movies were really just guys with staffs and sabers, but not lightsabers, not any kind of force ability. I know I would absolutely love to see Kylo Ren, take on the Knights of Ren that were actual, Jedi apprentices at one time. Because
Right.
in the first movie, they even told us, that Kylo Ren grabbed a handful of Luke's apprentices and they ran off, and those became the Knights of Ren. So there was a lot of story that could have been put in there that they just completely took out. Different directors, like they just made a whole mess of it. But the comics have really done a good job of patching it up and giving a little bit of understanding to it.
And this is not a reflection, obviously, on the actor who is a combat veteran Marine and whatnot, but I'm just sad to see a brother Grunt go down the way he did as Kylo Ren. But no, that's all good. So what are you reviewing this week on your show?
This week I am reviewing. I just did the Red Knight, and I'm going to be covering. Which one do we have coming out? I know DC Comics is going to be coming out. Oh, Deceased. It's DC Universe's zombie apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they did a run.
I've seen some like dolls and stuff like that, done up like this. Okay, so they're finally going to do it, or is this like a continuation?
Yeah, this is a continuation. So last year they did. They showed that your big five heroes from the Justice League, and showed pretty much like them all getting taken out. Everybody dies. Like there's no hope for humanity. What's left of humanity is trying to evacuate Earth. And so the one I'm covering right now is called Deceased Unkillables, and it's following Red Hood and Deathstroke. And essentially they're having to just make their way. They're trying to make their way to one of the evacuation points. So it's pretty much like the villain's perspective. You have like Solomon Grundy and stuff like that. Bane, who turns into a zombie. Deathstroke turns into a zombie, but because of his unique healing ability, he's actually able to not die from it. Right. It's really unique. It's something that I believe is Darkseid. They fucked with the anti-life equation and pretty much put it into Cyborg, sent his ass back to Earth, and he uploaded pretty much a technology virus that anybody looked at a screen automatically turned into a zombie.
Oh, wow, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool, man. Anything else that you want to let anybody know about your, any upcoming events that you might be doing, or comic breakdown things that are happening?
No, I mean, honestly, COVID-19 has everything on hold. Even Marvel Comics and DC Comics, they keep pushing back their dates. Nobody's doing anything right now. So right now it's a good time for me to catch up on, get that content put out, those filler episodes and stuff like that. Get people caught up on some on issues that aren't really there yet. And then I got all 5 of my kids this summer, so I'm going to be doing that.
Well, no, I feel you. I got 4 of my own, so you're going to have your hands full. But I'm sure you're going to be glad to have them. So,
sure.
Cool. All right, so give me just a moment here. Hey, guys, we're going to be going behind the paywall now. If you want to know a little bit more about Bryan and his goings on, and I'm going to be posting pictures of him in cosplay too. Hit us up on the behind the paywall for and because I do this all the time, for the Angry with Island, a political battleground with Nesto. And I want to say thank you to Bryan Buendia for coming on the show. Thanks a lot. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. No, anytime, man. And guys, remember the site is Comic Breakdown on YouTube. Bryan Buendia breaking down the comics. Like he said, COVID-19's got it all messed up, but you know what? He's going to feed you good content, so make sure you make your way over there. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Brought to you by Blue Cord Horde Brewing Company and Brute Squad members like yourself.